So what's going on, guys? I'm back with another interview, and I'm here to talk to the very talented amateur, 12-0 amateur, who's making his pro debut in May, Kasib Murdoch. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, coming off the back of Relentless, how was that experience? For the people who don't know, Kasib was on like a sort of similar to the Ultimate Fighter, like a tough style show.
It was. I suppose heading towards that direction. It's like a kind of own one, kind of like the Tiger Muay Thai tryouts as well. It was kind of similar. It's its own thing though. Like it was its own thing. But it was an awesome experience. It was good to, I don't know, just be in a class gym with lots of top athletes. It was good to. One for me was to get some experience, in front of the camera. And then it was just we got to do train like a full time athlete, and was all paid for as well. 8 weeks, 8 week camp. Eight fighters did to do it. One scholarship, so they get a year for food, accommodation, so they get pretty much the dream for a year. But all in all, it was an awesome experience.
And you weren't one of the ones who did you get kicked in the liver by Dan Hooker as well, or was it just that one guy?
No, yeah, I got touched in the liver. I didn't get put down. I do remember toe hacking me in the liver.
Yeah, obviously, because in Australia we can't actually watch it, but that's the only highlight I've seen is Dan Hooker absolutely fucking dropping one of the guys with a liver kick.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen it either. I've got people back home like messaging, this. I actually haven't. Obviously, I was there with the filming, and I can actually get to see how they all put it together. So, well, but yeah, Dan was. He was good. I don't know. I suppose he was there to test us, see if we had to be pro athlete, and that he did.
Did you interact with any other like CKB, like UFC fighters? Like was Izzy there or Tyson Pedro or anyone like that?
Pretty much each week got to do like kind of. So we got like the regular trainings with like the kickboxing, almost private sessions, or kind of each week he brought in different. Like 1 week we got to do it. 1 week got to do it with Israel. 1 week was Dan and Kieran. 1 week was Kai. It might have been Josie. Might have been a few more actually. It was cool. We got to each one of those. They kind of just taught us some of their things that they like to do, and kind of just ask them questions and stuff, training and fighting. So just got to pick their brain after.
And did you have like a favorite, like one, like teacher? Did anyone teach you more, or did you just have?
Kai was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think maybe just being like a short fighter, some of the tricks that he would show, it's useful for me. And obviously, being around is always pretty awesome. It's hard not to be starstruck around.
Yeah. No, definitely. Especially being a New Zealander as well. It would be like crazy to be training with all these guys, I would imagine.
Yeah, even like the first day, like walked in the gym, I've seen like that gym countdowns and like in UFC and betters and into they finally be there. I was like, oh, wow. Real.
Yeah, no, it would be a crazy experience. And I believe Brody Mayostosi, I'm probably butchering his last name, but he won the scholarship, right?
Yeah, Brody Mayo won the scholarship.
Yeah.
Very well deserved for him. He's a really talented. He'll definitely go far.
Yeah, definitely. I actually seen that on the Relentless page. It had like he was 26-0 pretty much, like 21 unofficial MMA fights, which I think is juniors. I think that means
Yeah,
junior.
yeah. So him and his brother had fights when they were like even under 10. Some MMA competitions. I don't know what the rules exactly were. It might have just been grappling on the ground, but yeah, they racked up doing that. And then I think they went to like grappling, and both of them went to the WW Worlds, and I think Brody actually got a gold medal there. Might have got a silver medal. They were when they were juniors. Yeah, they were pretty awesome as well. They were pretty awesome, good lads. I was actually during the show I was um, with Brody, and then brother ended up moving in with us as well.
Oh,
Which was
yeah, no, that's yeah. I seen the Relentless thing. I was like, holy shit, he's like 18 years old and he's got that many fights already. Like he's like fucking Habib at 18. Like it's fucking crazy.
yeah, yeah, it's weird how some of these young guys can have like I kind of thought I have expect like quite a bit my age, but yeah, he's more than me.
Yeah,
And
because you've got a long career as well. Did you have any junior bouts or is it just all amateurs?
no, junior, I boxed, so I did. So I wrestled from about 10 till 14. Just went into amateur. Um, about 14 to 18, and then I kind of went into MMA. I actually trained MMA when I was younger. I just didn't compete, and it was quite hard to find kickboxing or MMA being a junior when I was around or in New Zealand. Right?
And what was your amateur boxing record, if you know?
Yeah, I do. It was, and so I represented New Zealand in amateur boxing. I went to Youth Olympic, and I had 43 boxing fights.
43. Holy shit.
Boxing fights, and I think I only lost like 15. I think 15 or 16 maybe.
Shit, that's pretty good. Like
Um,
all things considered.
maybe yeah, yeah, around that. 43 fights, and I think 15 or 16 off. Yeah, so I had about 43 amateur fights, which I don't know if heaps of people actually know that I've quite a big experience in amateur boxing. Especially since most of my fights I end up wrestling now, um, which is probably just what I prefer. Um, but yeah, I had lots of amateur boxing fights. Yeah,
Yeah. And then with the footage you sent me as well, yeah, that wrestling was in full display with that whole Rampage Jackson type slam you got at the IMAFs.
yeah. So I think most of that tournament I just ended up. I don't not I struck a wee bit, but I was more just wrestling. I don't know. You kind of just go into that flow state and you're just kind of reacting to what's in front of you, and that was I ended up just wrestling more than what I struck.
Well, it's probably a better thing because now the guy you're fighting, he's probably going to expect a wrestling, and then you can just go out there and knock him out.
Yeah, I'm hoping. No one's really. I think. I've struck in a few of my fights, but mostly I've just wrestled. So it's kind of always just been in my back pocket, my striking. But I've also been working on that as well. So hopefully it'll be seen soon. Hopefully on the next one.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of which, your opponent, I was looking at your opponent. I think his name's Amir Mokharam. I might be.
Yeah, MacArthur or something. Yeah,
Yeah, Afghan dude.
yeah, Afghanistan. Yeah, so he trains and fights out of Bali MMA.
Yeah.
I think his tapology says he's 1-0, but I've seen on his socials that he's had another pro fight as well. So he's 2-0 as a pro. Um, he looks pretty good in his fight that I've seen on YouTube. Looks like he comes out aggressive and um, comes to win. And I think if I can just fight my fight, then I think I'm gonna beat him. But if I don't know, be silly and stand in front of him and let him do what he wants to do, then it's not going to be a good night for me. But,
Yeah, and sorry, yeah, go on, sorry.
no, you go.
Yeah, I was going to say, and how do you feel about like the transition from amateur to pro? Because obviously, amateurs 3 rounds, 3 minute rounds. Now you're going to 5 minutes. Like, how do you feel about that transition to the extra 2 minutes? Because it's a big deal. Look at it.
Yeah, I suppose it's a long time. Especially, I feel like I have quite a high pace in my 3 minute rounds. I kind of want to carry that kind of high pace into the 3.5s as well. But I feel like I kind of can relax a wee bit. I feel like you got a bit more time to play around with different things. You don't have to rush. Like I feel like in an amateur fight, if you get a takedown, that's kind of that round almost won because there's a lot less time. But in a 5 minute round, like you can get up and you can still work different things and come back and win that round a lot more convincingly, or do different things to win that round. And then also I get elbows and knees to the head. Elbows I'm pretty excited about, to throw them, not receive them. I suppose it just adds in a few more layers to what you can do. Like I suppose amateurs you can like kind of clinch. You don't have to worry about getting elbowed in the head or getting kneed in the head. But pros, you have to be wary of that. You can't just, I don't know, leave certain things open.
Yeah, and I think I'm not quite sure if it's for every promotion, but I have heard that some promotions, like in the amateurs, don't even let you knee. I'm not sure if that's everyone, but I know.
Everyone that I fought on, you could knee to the body, but you couldn't knee to the head. I
Yeah,
think
that's what I've heard. Yeah.
maybe some have different rules. Like I know the I think A class and B class. I should know what the different, but I know some of them you can't even knee. I think, and I think certain ones you can't even strike to the head on the ground, which is
Yeah,
I know kind of change. And even like the junior IMFs, like there's no strikes to the head, which completely almost changes the game. I reckon. Like it makes it a different game. You can't punch the head; you can only punch the body.
Yeah, and when I spoke to Jarrett Wilbraham, he said that he thinks that junior MMA is like he thinks that produces bad habits, like because obviously you
Yeah.
can't get hit in the face.
Well, you can like just kind of sit there and block your body with your hands down and like not be covering your face,
Yeah,
and you're doing the right thing for your sport. But then when you, I suppose, turn 18 and then there's punches to the head, you got to change your whole game, or you learn to fight with your hands up, but then it's kind of pointless to you can't be getting punched in the head.
yeah, exactly. Can you even leg kick in the juniors? Like, Where does it even go?
I think so. I think you can kick. I think you just can't strike to the head, and you can't
Okay.
strike on. And I think once it hits the ground, it just turns into grappling,
Yeah, yeah,
which I suppose is, I don't know, kind of real in a way. But then it's also, like adding strikes completely changes the grappling as well.
yeah. It shows the evolution, though. You go from juniors where you can't hit to the head, and you go to the amateurs where you can hit to the head, but no elbows or knees, and then it's just full blown everything when it goes pro.
Yeah, well, I suppose they're just trying to get all ages involved. Like, it might be a lot scarier for kids, like I don't know, getting hit in the head. But us, but I don't know, maybe just don't do MMA until you're a bit older. Then.
Yeah, it would be a bad look for the sport if some like 8-year-olds were fucking getting knocked out cold. So yeah, that's definitely
Yeah, I don't even know if it would be a bad look, but I don't even know if they can produce that enough force to do
Yeah, you're not wrong.
enough yeah, maybe it might happen, but I feel like most kids like that they're not going to get knocked out. They're just going to get hit and kind of just stand there or keep
Yeah,
going.
it's gonna be like a Calvin Guitar, Max Holloway type like beating, if anything.
And slick. Well, I don't know. They might do, but it's going to be a hard hitting kid if it is.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you're gonna see any Francis Ngannou type KOs in the juniors or anything like
Nah,
that.
yeah, nah, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah, unless maybe like I don't know, they had like an adult fight, like a kid, which would I don't think that would ever be sanctioned. But that's the only way I could see there being like a brutal KO.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I suppose even like it's not really a kid, but maybe I've like some 16-year-olds have like fought adults that probably shouldn't have.
Are you one of those?
No, I never really fought anyone too much. When I was boxing, I fought like 16-year-olds when I was like 13, but I never fought anyone that was like over 18 when I was
Did
under.
you?
When I
Did
was MMA, I think I fought maybe. Yeah, I didn't fight MMA till I was 19 or 20, so
and you're
wasn't out.
22 now, right?
Yeah, 22 now. Had my first fight 2020. Yeah, so I would have been 19, turning 19.
Yeah. So when you did you beat the like guy who was like 16 when you were 13? Did you beat any of those guys?
Yeah, I did beat a few of them when I was into boxing. Also, that's where some of my losses came from. But yeah, I beat a few of the guys that were older. I remember one. I think one in my second or third fight, maybe. Um, I travelled to go to this guy. It was early days. I think I fought up 9 kilos. And it wasn't just like.
Wait, hold on a sec. Your audio's gone real quiet.
Oh, sorry.
Ah, that's all good.
Is that better now?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, what are you
Yeah,
saying, sorry?
I was just saying, when I was maybe my third or fourth fight, amateur boxing, I think one time I fought up 9 kilos,
Oh shit.
and I won, which I think I was 55 kilos, and I fought someone who was 64. When you're like 14, I suppose that was a wee bit, and he had some height on me as well. I think that's probably the biggest
I,
thing. Yeah.
I take it nobody like fucked with you at school then. Like you didn't have to deal with bullying or anything like that, did you?
Nah, not really.
Not surprised.
I don't know. Kids kind of always knew I like trained and like fought, which I'm not even like a aggressive kid, or I wasn't an aggressive kid at school. But yeah, everyone just kind of left me alone, which was good. They never really bugged me.
Yeah, no, that's good. What even got you into training? What? Because obviously you started training at a young age.
So I think when I was 7, there was like some self defense jiu-jitsu at my school, and my friend was doing it. So I ended up just going to that, and then I did that for a wee bit, and then I kind of stopped. And then, funny enough, my older brother actually ended up starting at the same gym later, and then he started like watching UFC and stuff. And then so I kind of did jiu-jitsu before I ever even watched UFC. And then I started watching UFC as well, and I kind of got an interest in that. And then I ended up going back to that gym, and then my brother helped me quite a bit get into the sport. And then we both ended up going to a local wrestling gym that was just in our town. We always had our heads going towards MMA. So we wrestled and grappled kind of growing up. Trained like Muay Thai and stuff, and then we ended up moving to a different MMA gym locally in our town, and then he kind of fought MMA, and then I was a bit young, so I kind of that was when I went to amateur boxing. I was like, I want to fight. I kind of got sick of doing wrestling competitions. I was like, I kind of want to punch someone. So yeah, that's how I got into amateur boxing, and then I remember for a wee bit there, I didn't even want to do MMA. I just wanted to box. Kind of fell in love with that. Represented New Zealand doing that. Went to Youth Olympics. Then I think 2018 I went to Youth Olympics. 2019 I boxed that year. I felt like I got a wee bit burnt out with the boxing. So I ended up had like a wee break from it, maybe like just like a few months, and then I kind of I ended up going back to wrestling. That was back to the first wrestling gym that I started at, and that's kind of where all my MMA career kind of started off again. Started wrestling, and then started jumping in a few like the grappling comps, a few of the wrestling competitions locally, and then eventually, it must have been 2022, had my MMA debut, which was like a New Zealand versus Australia card. So I think my debut was against Liam Forrest on that.
Yeah, but it's not on your Tapology. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
we
know why.
spoke.
I don't know why it's not on Tapology. Tapology is a bit weird because it's that one, and then there's another
One
fight
that they, yeah,
against
it's got
Jason
it on
Sun.
there. Yeah,
It just says to be confirmed, or
which was
it's
like 3 years ago.
but yeah, that fight happened. I don't know why it didn't get put on there. They just kind of half stopped it. Yeah, so actually, there's 2 fights missing from Tapology.
And how did you win those fights, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
Both of those fights, just unanimous decision.
Yeah.
So I've actually, yeah, quite quite a few of my fights have been gone to decision. Got 2 sub victories. One I got in Oceanias, and then one I got at the Worlds. And the rest of my fights have just gone to the distance.
Crazy to think about your boxing pedigree and you don't have any knockouts yet.
yeah, I don't have any knockouts yet. I don't know why. I guess it's. I suppose maybe just from wrestling from a young age, that kind of like I amateur box for like years, but I suppose wrestling is still just my base. So that's like that's my go-to. Obviously, that's why.
Yeah, but no, it's good though. Nobody's going to expect it. Once you start letting them hand goes, they're going to be like, "What the fuck is this?"
But it was funny when I first was started fighting MMA. It was kind of the other way around because I knew people would like look me up and they're like, "Oh, like he's done boxing." Like if you look me up on YouTube, there's not actually much footage of me,
Yeah.
which is kind of good. Like I think there's a few boxing fights. There might be, there might be some MMA fights now, but I kind of knew that people were like, "Oh, they're going to think he's going to box," and I went out and wrestled, and I think that kind of shocked them. But yeah, pretty soon it's going to be the other way around.
And yeah, when I actually spoke to Jarrett, he was saying about how like you're one of the best up and comers at the gym, and he was saying you fight very similar to Ilia Topuria with your boxing.
Yeah, I would kind of help. Well, I was trying to help Volk out for that Taporia camp. So I was watching Weaver Taporia tape, trying to like, I kind of fight similar to him anyway. Like I do things that are similar. I think I do things that are very different as well, but I do have some similar things, and I was trying to, I suppose mimic Taporia when I was sparring Volk. But yeah, I kind of have that boxing kind of style anyway, so it's kind
Yeah.
of helpful.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to like properly see it because obviously you sent me some footage of your fights, but I only really got to see like a lot of the wrestling. So I'm like, I'm pretty keen to see your boxing once we get to see your hands going.
Yeah, I feel like my striking has, I suppose it's constantly changing, but since being at freestyle, has kind of, I don't know, just added new things into my skill set, like different little tricks that I can do. So yeah, I suppose my game's constantly changing depending on what I'm focusing on.
Yeah, and what a great gym to actually go and train at though, because you look at it, you obviously got the former featherweight UFC champion Volkanovski, the former featherweight eternal champ, a potential future eternal featherweight champ in Seb Saleh,
Yeah,
sorry.
that gym is it's packed. It's I've got to pinch myself. So I'm like sometimes the room like sparring day like Saturday, there's no easy rounds. Like you go from one person to like and you're like, and you're just like, it's so competitive that you're battling with them, and then the next person it's like a completely different style, but it's just the level in that room is so high. It's definitely the right place for me for now.
Who's your favorite fighter to get rounds in freestyle?
Favorite fighter to get rounds in. Me and Colby have some good rounds.
Yeah.
It's always it's cool to spar Volk. I wouldn't say it's that fun actually. he's a he's a beast. He's on another level. Justin, Jarrett, Seb's a handful. Jarrett's a
Yes.
handful. Dustin, just like his grappling is just so like suffocating.
Yeah.
They're all some hard rounds. It's a good room. It's a good room to be in.
Yeah, definitely. And like you say, interesting styles.
Yeah, I think like I suppose if you're the best person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good room to be in.
Definitely, yeah. Like you say, you got Jarrett, who's really unorthodox with his striking. He has no traditional martial arts background, so he's always striking.
Yeah, he's always like just on angles and just like doing different awkward kind of things. It's almost like it's so hard to get like his rhythm, but he does have a rhythm. It's just so hard to predict. And then like Seb's got like his karate style,
Karate,
which
yeah.
is another handful, like just distance and like I feel sorry for guys that are going to fight him because if you don't have like someone that's done karate, that's going to be so new to you, and you're gonna when you get in there, it's going to be very hard.
Yeah, definitely. They just announced that he's fighting in a Grand Prix for the Eternal Featherweight Championship, so that should be pretty cool.
Yeah, that should be awesome. I think that's June, yeah.
I think it's in June or May. I think I think June though. Yeah, he fights Gabriel, that Brazilian dude, the 6-0 Brazilian guy.
Yeah, so that's good for him. He'll get that featherweight title, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it comes down to him and Mangos, so that should be a pretty good fight.
Yeah, there's some good fights that they can make in Australia. Like there's some good like the level here is like I was listening to you and Jarrett's podcast and you guys are talking about how high the level is here and like like the level here like you don't need to travel like the level in Australia and New Zealand is so high already like even in like the last 5 years how much it's picked up like it's just shot up the level.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's like guys like you, Fergus Jenkins, like so many amateurs who are just going, and the IMAFs I'd say is a big part of it. Like, just you guys are going and getting so much experience, and then like once the time you guys hit the pro ranks, it's like just off to the fucking races.
Yeah, I think doing that amateur thing, I think that's awesome. I always thought like you do a training camp for like one fight, but like for like the IMFs, you get to have 5 fights if you win. Like you get to do one training camp, but then you get to compete 5 times at the end of that, and I feel like that's so good for your growth. Like each fight at the Worlds, like I remember I was getting more and more comfortable competing in there. I was each fight I was like, oh yeah, like I'm getting more comfy in here, and I feel like I leveled up so much in that tournament.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's just a good thing to prepare yourself for like, especially like Volk's a good example of this. Just like making moves in the fight, like because you're not going to prepare for any of these guys, so you're just making moves in the fight. I feel like that's a good skill to have. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Did you have like a favorite fight in your IMAF career, or even just your amateur career in general?
Maybe that one I sent you.
Yeah.
Against where was he from? He was from
Was he Kyrgyzstan? I don't think it was Kyrgyzstan, was he?
No, he was from no, he wasn't France. I fought France at Worlds. That was a cool one because that was the semi-finals, and he was going into it. He was seeded number 1 or 2 in the whole tournament, so that was good to beat him. Once I beat him, I was like, oh yeah, like this. That's meant to be the best guy in this division. And then that fight that I sent you against Stephen, get where he's from. I think those 2 fights probably 2 of my favourite.
Yeah, that slam's going to go viral one day. I bet you. Once you get some followers and stuff like that, you need to post that slam on your Instagram.
Yeah, I think I was just playing around, like trying to make some highlights, but I haven't got any really good footage from it. Like even like that stuff, I think I just screen recorded off off my phone, off the IMF page. But yeah, there was some good moments in there actually. Actually, yeah, my coach made a highlight reel of just some of the takedowns and stuff, and yeah, there was some cool stuff in that tournament actually.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like I love like just looking at the IMAFs from years ago, and then you look at some of the guys like Muhammad Makai is probably the best example of it. He went like 22-0 or something like that as an amateur, and now he's in the UFC and so many other fighters. Brendan Allen
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, I love watching some of his amateur fights against Japan. Like there's that one fight where he supes that guy like 3 times, which is yeah, he just ragdolled people in the IMFs actually. He made it look pretty easy. And then
Yeah,
he like 28 fights and then he's turning pro. Like that's then it all starts again. That's some good experience.
yeah, absolutely. And even like I say, Brendan Allen, he went like 9-0 in the IMAFs as well. Like there's a lot of guys people don't realize they're actually in the IMAFs that are in the UFC now.
Yeah, I think as a good pathway. There was some drama though, because I actually wanted to go back to the IMF Worlds, but then I think New Zealand and Australia both ended up pulling out of IMF just because like certain political stuff. So
Yeah,
I think Australia might be back in there. I'm not too sure, but once it happened, I was like, oh yeah, that means it's time to turn pro. So
yeah.
been trying to get a pro fight for I don't know at least the last 6 months. I've been trying to get a pro fight and finally got one. So I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask about a bit of controversy there was with you finding a pro fight. But I did see like there was a bit of a back and forth with you and Jake Piper, I think it was.
Yeah, I personally think what he said was stupid. I he didn't want to fight me because like we were both going to be on pro debut. I felt like that was the perfect. You couldn't ask for a better debut, but he almost wanted to fight someone that was higher ranked, which obviously like that's going to shoot you up, which I kind of understand that. But you're also on debut, like they're saying like the UFC is not going to be looking at him if he fights another debut. Like the UFC is not looking at you on a debut anyway.
Yeah.
Um, and then like later on, if they look back at fights, it's going to be like, oh, he's fought this person who was on debut, and they've probably had more fights by then anyway. Yeah, so it was that, and then yeah, I suppose just it was kind of hard. I was kind of in a weird position because I've been an experienced amateur, so I suppose some debuts are saying no because I was too experienced, and then more experienced pros were saying no because I was on my pro debut, and they're like, I don't want to fight a debut. I was kind of in a funny situation. So hopefully after I have my debut, then some more doors will open and I can have some more fights.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't really agree with the whole beating a guy who's 0-0 in your debut and all that. Like look at Harry Webb. Harry Webb's 2 wins as a pro are against decorated amateurs, but guys who are 0, making their pro debuts. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I feel like if you're even like some of those more experienced pros that said like nah because you're on debut, I feel like you're only saying no if you think that you might lose to that debut because it looks bad if you lose to a debut. But if you beat a debut, then it's going to be fine. Like it's like just another win. And yeah, like Harry Weaver's a perfect example. Like I think was his debut against Ollie?
Yeah, he beat Schmid and then he fought Husmek.
Yeah, then he fought Carmen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which so both of those guys are pretty decorated amateurs. But yeah, I think if you're keen to fight, then you'll fight. It shouldn't matter too much.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think I heard he might have a fight booked, or I think I've seen something. So I guess that's probably a fight we see down the line, maybe a main event for like because are you looking to fight for like Eternal Hex?
Yeah, I am. I was trying to get on. I really wanted to get on that Hex New Zealand card. That was a card because I don't know, just being over here in Australia, I was like, sweet, that'll be cool if I could go fight back in New Zealand. But we were just struggling to find a match, and then this one in Bali popped up, and I was like, yeah, well, let's take it, because I haven't had any luck. Because I originally wanted to fight on the Hex Melbourne one, the last one that they had, but which there were like a few potential opponents, but nothing ended up lining up, which was a wee bit annoying. And then I was trying for the Hex New Zealand one, and then nothing was popping up. So then the Bali one popped up, and I was like, yeah, let's take that.
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, out of all the places, I wouldn't have expected your pro debut to come in Bali. So that did catch me a bit off guard.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be like on Eternal or Hex. But oh well, it is what it is. Get the first one done, then hopefully get some more matches after that.
Yeah, well, exactly. I feel like it's good, get in there against like a sort of an unknown guy, but he could turn out to be really good in his own right eventually, after you beat him. So
Yeah, he looks sharp on that video, on like the fight on YouTube. Looks pretty aggressive, but I think it's a good fight for me. If I go out there and fight good, then and fight my fight, then I think I beat him. But if I go out there and, I don't know, fight stupid, then I'm probably not going to do the best.
yeah, and he's a grappler, right?
Yeah, grappler striker, I think.
Yeah.
I think he ended up I think he TKO'd the guy on the ground in the fight, but he came out pretty hot on the feet, throwing punches and kicks. Looked pretty aggressive. Yeah, I've watched that fight maybe twice, and I'm like, oh yeah, sweet. I've just been trying to focus on me really. If I perform the best that I can do, then I think I'm going to be too much for him.
Yeah, is it like difficult for like preparing for guys like this? Because I mean, I guess it wouldn't be too bad, like you say in the IMAFs, you didn't even know half the guys you were about to fight, but like,
I suppose it can be like I get people kind of get annoyed when there's no footage on like their guys, but I can only control what I can control, and that's like if I feel like it almost makes it better, because it just means I get to focus on me and focus on my game, and I don't get to stress about like certain things that he does, because I haven't seen too much of him. And yeah, that was kind of the same with like when you're going to those IMF tournaments. Like I remember I tried to like find footage on some of the fighters. Like going to the tournament, I remember trying to I'd watched a few of them, but then I didn't know who I was going to get either. So
yeah, that actually, I'm glad you answered that. I was actually going to ask if you'd watched tape on all the guys in the tournament before.
I had done a fair bit of research. I found like stuff on a few of them. Like I knew that like French guy, he was number 2 going into it. There was an American that I was watching that I thought I was going to collide with, because he was a pretty good wrestler and grappler. I thought he might be a tough fight for me, but he didn't end up making it through.
Worst. You do all that research, and you're like, oh damn, he didn't even make it through.
Yeah, well, it's funny actually. I remember during the tournament, because I wasn't paying attention to too many of the other fights, so I was kind of just focused on my fight. And I remember like it was semis, I was like, oh, I'm going to fight this American soon. He's going to be right there, and it turned out he lost a few fights ago, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that would be the worst. But hey, I mean, it obviously worked out. You ended up beating the guy who beat him. So
Yeah, that's true. The final ended up being against Portugal. Alexander Rita, which he was actually he's a really nice guy. I actually got along with him really well. Even talked to him before the fight and after the fight. He was very crafty, crafty grappler. And it was a competitive fight, but I felt like I controlled it enough to get the win pretty easily.
Yeah, no, that's good then. Yeah, it must be weird though with the IMAFs, because you guys would all be around each other like pretty much the whole time, right?
Yeah, like you pretty much just in one big warm up room. Like you're warming like I remember for the fight, like the first few days it was a bit more packed, but then like for the finals, like I'm warming up and my opponent's literally like 2 meters away warming up as well. Like no curtains or anything. We're just on this one big open mat. I think it's a cool experience. Like they don't make it a huge like deal with some of the things. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, you're here to fight. You're not really like they don't. There's no walkout songs. I think they might say your name as you're walking out. That's about it, and then you get into the cage and you fight. It's not much. Yeah, it's not as much of a show as what like the pro stuff is.
So it sort of prepares you in a few years' time if you make, if you go through the Dana White Contender Series route, with the whole no music, they just say your name sort of thing.
Yeah, so yeah, I suppose it does do that actually. That's a good point.
Yeah. And that's in Bahrain, right? Like all of the IMAFs are in Bahrain.
Nah, not all of them. So I did do one in Bahrain. I did like a Super Cup, which was like a team event, which was very different. It was like if 5 people from your team won, then you'd go through to the next round. That was in Bahrain, but no, my Worlds was in Serbia.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we did. So I think a few times it's been in Bahrain, a few times it's been, and yeah, just some different places. But yeah, mine was in Serbia.
And no jet lag or anything like that from the travels?
No, there definitely was jet lag. I remember waking up like every day. I was awake at like 3 or 4 a.m. But it was kind of good because I most of the time I was fighting around, I don't know, lunchtime or I don't know, but yeah, early afternoon. So it wasn't. So I'd pretty much go and fight, and then I could just go to sleep earlier. But yeah, if you stayed up later anyway, you'd still just wake up at 3, 4 a.m. It was weird.
Yeah, that would be weird. But I guess it does prepare you, like I say, for like international competition, fighting in America as well, like with the whole traveling and everything.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not sure the flight difference between like Serbia and the United States, but I'd imagine it's pretty similar. It's just opposite ends.
Yeah, I think like Serbia might have been like 12 hours difference to New Zealand time, which is weird. But yeah, I suppose it prepares me. I'll be interested to see how I go on Bali as well. I've never been to Bali. That's a few hours difference.
Careful with the water.
Yeah, can't drink the water. It's a hot place as well.
Yeah.
I suppose it's all good experience, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the only thing is I've never been to Bali myself either, but all I know is there's a lot of partying and shit, so there's probably a lot of temptation around Bali.
Yeah, I'd say so. And yeah, can't drink the water, and obviously got to be careful with the food.
Yeah.
Can't have ice in your water.
Yeah. Just hope nobody roofies you or anything before you fight.
Yeah, I hope not. So
I mean, an awful way.
We'll see how it goes though.
Nah, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure. What's the promotions like? Do you know how to pronounce the promotion's name?
I think it's Kangoo or Shangu.
Kangoo.
Shangu. Yeah, Kangoo Fight Night. So I think it's just in like apparently it's in some big nightclub there, like the main nightclub.
I think that was Kangoo. The same promotion.
Yeah,
Valley.
Matt Vale and Hakaraya Wilson fought on it. The last one, I think. Or maybe on before.
They've sort of come out of nowhere, but they're actually putting on some pretty good fights. Like they're getting all the people that can't get fights.
Yeah, they're matching people. Like the promotion looks all good. Like the video, like on YouTube, looks all good. Like even with some of the things they post on Instagram looks pretty good. I don't know if there's going to be a live stream though, which is weird. I messaged them. I was like, you should do a live stream. Like there's people back here that would love to watch. But I'm not too sure if they're going to do one or not.
Yeah, I remember I had to watch somebody, like I think it was Matt Valley's friend or something, live stream. I had to watch his friend live stream it to watch his fight. So that was a bit interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, if there's no live stream, I might end up just doing that, just trying to get someone to go live and record it. But then they end up putting them on YouTube anyway.
Yeah, I think they end up posting it to YouTube the next day anyway.
Yeah, so I don't know why they couldn't just do a live stream. It would be, I don't know, helpful. Very well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Do you have any teammates or anything fighting on this card? I didn't think I seen any other freestyle guys.
Nah, no other freestyle. I think there was. I think he was trying to match Jarrett on it as well, but that couldn't go through. I think Jarrett's matched for Hex now.
Yeah, against Sepka.
Justin's fighting in New Zealand on the 4th, and then I fight on the 5th of May. So we were trying to both get on the New Zealand card, but I couldn't end up getting matched. So, but it is.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited for that Jarrett fight with Kakembo, because obviously with my interview he was talking about how there's the beef with him and Kakembo, so that's like some bad blood there. So that always makes the fight a lot better.
Yeah, that's probably like probably the winner of that's going to be getting pretty close to the title. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, but it just makes it awkward though. If Justin does beat Baeta, maybe he gets signed to the UFC or something, but it makes it a bit tricky there. Jared, obviously.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, well, them two won't be fighting, I don't think.
Yeah.
But, no, I suppose there's just good fights in Australia at the moment, isn't there? Like,
yeah, definitely.
That featherweight division, like Eternal and Hex, it's kind of stacked.
Yeah, and do you look at these guys, obviously not your teammates, but these other guys out there? Do you look at these fights and yeah, shit, obviously the Baetas, obviously I think Offley's on tough, so I'm not sure what's happened with him, but all these other featherweights.
I'm a fan of the sport as well, so I like to watch. I watch it because I suppose some of them could be potential opponents in the future as well. But then I'm also just a fan of watching. Watching how the fights go and who is going to get to the title and who's going to beat who, and different styles make different fights. I think I probably love watching the local stuff more than I love watching most UFC now. Actually,
honestly, yeah, same here. Especially actually, I got to mention Apex cards. I would rather watch a regional Australian, New Zealand event, but then when it comes to UFC, UFC all day.
Some UFC cards are just stacked, and obviously that's awesome to watch. But then I feel like you might know some of the local guys. You almost have a better relationship with some of them, or you know them more. So there's maybe a bit more in it. And they're just the competitive fights. It's great to watch.
Yeah, I can't even lie. My bias for that last Hex card was so bad because the three of the guys fighting on the card I interviewed, so it was fuck, I'm not going to be non-biased here. I have to root for all them guys.
Yeah, fair enough. You can watch it as a fan as well, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. I love all the fighters.
You can interview people and then, I don't know, they could be fighting your friend or something.
Well, I think that's what's going to happen next, because obviously I've interviewed Cody Haddon, I've interviewed Colby, and I think they're going to fight next. So I'm just going to have to be neutral for that fight.
Yeah, I think that's fine. It's not I don't know. You probably like both of them, yeah. You're a fan of both of them. Probably just a fan to see how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's a lot of.
That's gonna be a good fight as well. That's just another one that's up there.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick. Hex, I feel like Hex is absolutely killing it right now. Eternal puts on good cards. Don't get me wrong, but Hex, I don't know.
I think Hex has probably been. I don't know. I feel like they've had some stacked cards lately. That last one that they had was pretty. It was pretty stacked. Some exciting fights.
That card was crazy. Who was the fighters? Oh yeah, they had Michaela versus Bates. That was a crazy fight, back and forth fight.
They had Vale on it.
Yeah, they had Colby versus Manu.
Logan and Haddon.
Yeah, and they had Webb versus Baeta. That was a crazy trio. Last 4 fights were crazy. Last 5 fights actually.
Yeah, they've been putting on some. Not that Eternal doesn't either. Eternal puts on some cracker fight nights as well. But I think Hex lately, they've been doing it. And I suppose for me, it's quite cool that they're going to New Zealand. That's a cool thing. Yeah, I would love to be on there actually, but oh well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the New Zealand card's going to be fucking so cool as well. Obviously, they got Sterling. They got Navajo Sterling fighting on it.
Yeah. Bear's on there as well. The Balkan Bear.
Yeah, the Balkan Bear. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's on there.
Finally gets a fight. Well, he's fighting this weekend too. That's pretty cool. Back-to-back fights.
Yeah, that's right. Shurikens this weekend. That's got some good fights on it as well, actually.
Yeah, pretty keen for that as well. I'm sad that Cam Rowson's not fighting, but still should be a really good card.
Yeah, he's great to watch. He's so smooth.
Yeah, because obviously, yeah, you would have got to train with like all them guys as well. So
it was cool just to be around. Like, yeah, the level in that gym is pretty awesome. Like, I know you see heaps of those guys fight on TV and or on like these local shows, and it was just it was cool to be in the same room as a lot of them. Yeah, the level in that gym is very high.
did you like have a favorite fighter like growing up, like from that gym, or just in general before you train there?
Uh, I always liked Izzy. I watched him Kai when I was younger as well. Was always a huge fan of Volk.
Yeah,
Um,
I actually wearing a
I,
Volk shirt on.
yeah, I got
Yeah,
shirt.
fuck yeah,
Mate, maybe Izzy. I remember watching Izzy before he was in the UFC, like when he was just fighting on like the King of the Rings.
yeah,
He was pretty cool to watch. He was. I know, he just always had that like flash to him, that like flair.
yeah,
Actually, not surprised like how much of a star he turned into in the UFC, and it all happened like so fast as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's how I feel
I,
with a lot of these guys coming up now.
like I literally remember watching him fight in King of the Ring, and then you're thinking like, "Jesus, this guy's good," but then like, I know he's literally the middleweight champ of the world. And you're like, "Oh shit!" Like,
Yeah.
it happened pretty fast.
Well, that's how I feel about Steve Urseg now fighting for the UFC title, like in
Yeah,
2 weeks' time.
he can shock the world, eh?
Yeah, like
He's kind of come out. Well, for the UFC, he's kind of come out of nowhere, eh? Like,
because he was in Eternal like a year ago, like a year ago today. He was probably still, I think. Actually, no. His last Eternal fight was February 2023. So he literally like last year he was in Eternal.
yeah, because it's weird because he's kind of fought guys a lot, obviously fighting on the local scene now, and then he's fighting for like the UFC world title.
Yeah,
Kind of, yeah, it's kind of weird to think. Well, I suppose it just shows that the level's quite high over the side of the world.
yeah,
Like guys
definitely.
that have competitive fights with him, and now he's literally he's fighting for the world title, and he could win it as well. It's like
Yeah, he's really good.
he's gonna, he's really like he could shock the world.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy to see, man. Like, yeah, just all of these guys coming up. Like, you got Jack Della as well. Like, I remember watching. I was meant to watch him fight at an Eternal card, but then it got shut down because of the whole lockdown and shit like that in Perth.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, obviously, I ended up watching him fight in person, but it was for UFC 284, I think it was. It was like it was fucking crazy to see
Yeah,
how it all goes.
he's crazy. Yeah, he's so good. Who's he fighting? He's fighting Rachmanov, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen next. Not official, but I think that's what they're going to do.
But how cool is that? Like that he calls out probably one of the most scariest guys in that division.
Nobody's calling out Shavkat. Only person to ever call out Shavkat.
Yeah, yeah, he's a fighter's fighter.
Yeah, and his comments have been absolutely invaded since he did that. Every one of his comments now is full of Kazakh flags because they really go hard for their fighters. So there's like 100 Kazakh flags.
And I suppose there's not heaps of them in the UFC, so Shavkat's then is their number one.
Yeah, they go. But even then, even if I think there was a few other not Shavkat fighters, Kazakh fighters, and I think they all every time they fight somebody, they'll just fill it with Kazakh flags. I think they just go absolutely hard for all their fighters. Very supportive.
Yeah, I suppose that's good. That's good of them to support their fighters. It's probably good for their fighters knowing that their whole country's behind them.
Yeah, it probably had some extra pressure though for those fighters. I would imagine. Like you got all these fucking guys like spamming everyone. It's like, damn, I really need to show up for all my fights now.
Yeah, you can't go in there and lose after all those guys are commenting on every single post.
Yeah, like people are gonna make edits of you and all that stuff now for like because of your fan base. It's like Shavkat could be the nicest guy in the world, but his fan base is now gonna have like people making so many edits if he loses.
Yeah. If he loses, everyone's gonna be like rubbing it in his face, which is probably I don't know, not awesome because he probably is a nice guy.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen something where it was like his favorite animal was a horse and his favorite meal is also a horse. Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's odd.
Yeah, that's a scary man. But do you have any like fighters like outside of like the Australia New Zealand region you like watching in like the UFC?
Yeah, one favorite fighter at the moment, Corey Sandhagen. I think think he's pretty awesome. I think like just some of the, I think his fight IQ probably, I don't know. I think that's definitely up there. O'Malley as well. I think his striking is just so beautiful to watch. I enjoy watching. I suppose maybe I don't know if it's just me being a smaller guy, but I definitely enjoy watching the smaller guys rather than I don't know, maybe like middleweights and up. I don't really pay as much attention as I will to like the I don't know bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight division. I think I think they're the most exciting divisions anyway.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like they're a lot more technical because obviously you can get away with those sort of stuffs in the higher weight classes. In the lower weight classes, you got to be technical.
Yeah, and I think some of those divisions are just stacked as well. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I think 35, 45, 55, the most stacked divisions by far.
I think 125 is going to turn into like one of the most stacked divisions. Looking at so many prospects like there are out there as well.
Yeah, I suppose it's pretty stacked. Pretty stacked already, actually.
Yeah.
There's some good guys coming through there.
And is your like whole? Do you reckon your whole MMA career is going to be at featherweight, or do you see yourself like moving down or moving up and be perfect sized?
I see myself going to bantamweight. I want to. I think maybe later I could probably be a featherweight, but I reckon for pro, I reckon I can be a bantamweight, and I think I better compete well there.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that there's be some good fights locally for me at bantamweight. I see myself there.
And one of the things I like about you saying that is you didn't go and do it at your amateur career. Like you're going to wait until you're actually getting paid to do it, which I think is really smart. Like at least
We
you're
also
not.
like all my I think two of my fights have been day before weigh-ins. All my amateur fights have like you're weighing in the same day, so you can't really cut too much weight anyway. But I feel like pro, you can probably I don't know having 24 hours to weigh in, you can pull out a wee bit more and still be healthy in the cage.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's a lot. I feel like health wise as well, it's just a lot better for you to cut weight a bit older.
And yeah, you're definitely getting paid is probably a big thing as well. Like, don't want to suffer all that just for nothing.
Is the plan when you do eventually make that bantamweight move to like go with the fight dietitian or anyone like that, or just get a dietitian in general?
I have actually recently started working with a dietitian. Locally trains at the gym. He's just starting up taking back nutrition. His name's Tom, which he's just been helping me out for this camp, which has been good. Been feeling nice and fueled. Obviously, this one's at featherweight, so it's not a huge struggle anyway. But yeah, the plan is definitely after this one work my way down to bantamweight.
And is there any like obviously it's tough with to say how the division's going to look, but is there any like fights you look forward to potentially having in the Australian New Zealand bantamweight division?
I think maybe Jake Piper eventually.
Yeah,
It'll be a good fight. I think the bantamweight division in Australia is pretty stacked. So I think it's quite probably any one of those top guys actually. I just need to I suppose get my name out there to like a position where people actually they'll get something out of fighting me. So because right now like if they fight a debut, there's not really heaps for them unless they're just keen to fight.
yeah. Like I'd love to see you versus like Cody Haddon with the boxing. You and Aaron Toe have never like trained at the same gyms or anything, have you?
Briefly, I did a wee bit with him at City, but we never really did too much.
Yeah, so potentially like you're not like opposed to that fight.
Yeah, he's good. Even like I suppose like Rod Costa and all the Eternal guys.
Yeah,
some good fights there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
To be honest, I'm just keen to fight, man. I just want to try and compete as much as I can.
Would love to see you versus that Emrahan dude, the guy who lost to Manu, the trash talking guy.
I tried to actually ask for that one for that Melbourne Hex, but he I don't know. I think after that loss to Manu, his ego's obviously been hurt, and he's
Yeah.
not keen to fight anymore. Not, yeah, I don't know. I haven't really seen him post or heard anything from him. But yeah, because he was calling everyone out for a wee bit, and then he lost, and then just kind of hid
Yeah.
away.
Went incognito. Well, I heard that he put up a post saying he was going to be fighting for the XFC championship, but he's completely deleted it off his Instagram, and that was like 3 months ago. So I think he's probably broken a little bit.
Yeah, which I suppose that I don't know. He was talking a wee bit of shit. So
Yeah.
if it, I suppose that happens whenever anyone talks shit. Like if they lose, there's going to be a bit of backlash. Probably better just to maybe keep quiet and just fight each fight. I reckon.
Yeah, just get on that grind and just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, or I suppose maybe he was just trying to promote fights as well, trying to create a character, which good on him, I suppose, but
Yeah.
doesn't work out that well if you lose.
Yeah, I feel like you can have aura, but you sort of got to back up the aura. You can't just like talk that shit and think you're gonna have that aura. Like,
Yeah, like I suppose like when like Connor coming up, if he had lost, it probably would have had some of that backlash as well. Like the amount of shit he talked, but he just I don't know kept on winning.
yeah, exactly. But he got humbled, definitely very badly. But hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully the guy comes back. But
yeah. But I said see something he was going to be maybe fighting Chandler, but I don't know if I'm going to believe it until he's actually in that cage.
yeah, so McGregor it's scheduled, it's been announced and everything. But we gotta see if it actually goes
Yeah,
ahead. But it's at welterweight actually, which is pretty interesting.
yeah. I seen he like posted the other day. He's like, drug tested and like had a haircut
Yeah, I've seen that.
and wearing 18-ounce gloves or something again. So good on him. I kind of feel like he might just be trying to stay relevant.
Yeah. I hope he fights though. I just feel like, he's not going to be champion or anything like that. But I feel like it's just the sport feels so much bigger when he fights. Like it's just
Yeah,
always
definitely. The amount of like growth he got in the sport was ridiculous. He brought so many eyes from all over the world onto the sport just because of him.
and even look at the way like the people coming up who fight similar to him, Ilya Taporia, who talks like him, Sean
Yeah,
O'Malley fights like him. Like this, Ian Gary
yeah,
wants to be him. Like there's just so many people coming up. Like with
yeah,
McGregor,
definitely.
yeah,
Well, he's kind of made it a wee bit more like that entertainment WWE kind of thing. Like
yeah.
it's added a wee bit more drama into it, which kind of made it more interesting.
Yeah,
And other
you would
fighters kind
never,
of
you'd never engage in that sort of stuff. Like we're not going to see you turn into like a Colby Covington type guy once you go big.
it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
I suppose as I get more comfortable in front of the camera, a bit more of me might come out, but I don't see myself being the bad heel or anything like that.
yeah, not selling your soul for some money.
Nah, I think some people just get more comfortable in front of the camera, and obviously I think you can do like a wee bit of stuff, like I don't know, just to hype a fight up or sell some things, but some people go too far. I think Colby
Yeah.
Covington has gone a bit far with some of the comments he's made, and
Well, yeah,
even like some of the ones that Connor's made has kind of been a bit on the line as well.
yeah. See, I'm all right with trash talk, but I feel like they got to leave family out of it. Leave people's dead dads out of the fucking fight
Yeah,
game.
that's true. I think like talk shit to the person, but don't really their family or anyone outside. Don't bring them into it. Like same with like coaches and teams, probably leave them out of it as well. Like
Yeah.
you're not fighting them.
Unless it's like a teammate you could potentially fight or something like that, then yeah. But like if it's like an old fucking 50-year-old coach, just like leave them out of it.
Yeah, I suppose maybe some like it gets to the point where they're trying to actually just mess with them psychologically to I don't know, make them fight angry or make them fight out of their game. So maybe some people feel like they need to push those limits, but I don't reckon that's all good. I reckon that's not good.
Have you dealt with any trash talk from any opponents? Like, has anyone tried to get
Uh,
the games to you?
Once in boxing, I had someone talk to me in the fight. I remember like you'd go to like the glove table and get your gloves, and I like put my gloves on. Amateur boxing is pretty chilled. Like there's no walkout. You kind of just walk out, jump in the ring, fight, much like the IMF tournaments.
Yeah.
And I'm like just like going at my gloves, like there's just an open table, and I just look to my left, and this guy's like just hardcore staring at me, like trying to scare me out, and I was just like, oh, fuck, all right. And then as we got into the ring, he had his eyes locked on me, and I was beating him as well, and he's like, he was on the ropes, and I was like, hit him a few times, and he's like, you ain't got fucking nothing, you ain't got nothing, and I was like, oh, all right. And then I think like the end of the next round, he was like, oh, sorry about that, but that's kind of the only thing I've really had. No one's really talked. Yeah, not that I can think of. No one's really talked to me apart from that.
Do you think if you actually, like, with everything that's gone on, you think if you and Jake Piper were to fight, you think there would be some trash talk there or anything?
No, I don't know. Maybe. I don't actually mind him. Like I just think what he said, I didn't really make sense. I think he's like he is a nice kid, but I just think that thing about fighting another debut, I just think I don't really agree with that. I think that was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And if he wants to fight, then that could be a potential one down the line. But if not, that's all right.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely not a bad fighter by any means. Like, I think one of his only losses was to Brody, and like we spoke about before, Brody's just like fucking crazy. Like, he's just a
Brody, Brody's grappling is very, very good. Showed against Jake.
And with the Relentless show, you guys had fight nights, but obviously because you're all different weight classes, I believe you weren't fighting each other. But like, who were you guys actually?
So it was kind of we were meant to fight like when I signed up for it, I thought we were going to be having like actual fights at the end of the show, like he was going to match it, which he did try to match us all up with, but I think just some of us he couldn't actually find matches. I think one was me. I think Brody might have been another one, and maybe Brody's brother as well. I think he might have struggled to find matches for some of us, just maybe because I don't know our experience or whatever. But however, he couldn't end up getting fights for us, so we ended up just fighting in-house people against City Kickboxing. So I suppose they still wanted to make the show, us have a fight on the show, and they wanted to test us at the end of because we kind of learned some of the system at CKB or like different things. They wanted to see how we went under pressure, so we still had to have a fight. I was hoping for an actual fight. I was actually hoping to, because when I signed up for it, was amateurs wanted to turn professional. I was hoping that I could make my pro debut on there. Actually, I was thinking, but that didn't end up happening. But so we didn't fight each other. We were all. It was like marked on criteria, like different things that we had learned and how we showcased different skills in there. And then just I suppose how well we competed in all the different training sessions and how we went over the 8 weeks and how they thought we would be a good team player or not.
And so who did you actually end up? So you ended up fighting like CKB teammates in like a house fight?
Yeah. So we ended up having an in-house fight. I ended up getting matched with Kieran Doblin.
Oh, yeah. Very experienced.
Yeah, which was a good test for me. Again, it was like we couldn't knock each other out, or he didn't want us actually like submitting each other. He kind of wanted it just to be like 3 rounds, like more of like a test, see how we go on learning our skills and stuff. Which was kind of hard to prepare for mentally. Actually, like you thought you were going to have a proper fight, and then you're like, nah, you were just having an in-house fight, and I don't know, it was a wee bit. I would have much preferred a proper fight.
Is that like, would that be like the fight version of like cock blocking pretty much? Because you think you're about to go in there and have a full scrap and it's like, yeah, sorry, you're gonna, it's like wearing a condom for a fight pretty much, right?
That's a good analogy, I reckon, actually. Yeah, I suppose it is. Like, yeah, like I think because we only found out maybe 2 weeks before, we were kind of all like talking, we're like, are we, because it had been like 6 weeks and we're like, do we know who we're fighting yet? Like, when's he going to tell us? We kind of thought we were like, either he's got all of us matched already and he's just going to like spring these people on us, or because we kind of would have wanted time to like study our opponents as well. Like if we were fighting, have a proper fight, we'd want to kind of study it. Yeah, it kind of was. It was kind of, oh shit, we're actually not having a proper fight. It was, yeah, I kind of found it. It was like a mental switch that had to change. It was like, oh, you're not actually having a proper fight; you're having a in-house fight. But we still had to go out there and perform in our training sessions and our fight, obviously. And you
And
still
like,
obviously got nervous for it and stuff, and there was cameras and that. Just yeah, it was and shin guards and gloves and yeah.
and were you like, did it once like you did the 3 rounds? Was it like a draw? Was it like, did you just award a winner or
Nah,
anything?
yeah, there was winners. So I won my one. Yeah, Brody won his one. I think Brody ended up fighting Ollie Schmidt.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, yeah,
still having
that's
it
a good.
on, which is another good fight. His brother fought Talor Wittery. There was a few other fights. There was 8 of us, but then one of us actually ended up getting injured during the show, so there was only they took it down to 7.
Was that the guy who got kicked in the ribs by Dan Hooker?
Nah. There was another guy who, Corin Braddock, who blew his Achilles out. Actually,
Oh
on his
shit!
first day, on his first
Fuck.
day, our first day sparring, or like yeah, they kind of threw a twist in there. So there was 8 of us, but then for a start there was only 6 of us, and we were like, oh okay, we thought there was going to be 8, and then like a few weeks later they brought 2 more in, which was Corin and Brody's brother, Kyle.
Oh, okay,
And
that's how it factors in.
yeah, which I suppose yeah, I can talk about because the show's fully out now. Just people in
Yeah.
Australia haven't seen it. Yes, but then on his first day sparring, um, blew his Achilles out. We were sparring and someone either like stepped on his ankle or he stepped back and hit his ankle. But yeah, he was he was out obviously straight away.
Yeah, fuck, that's just horrible luck, man. Best wishes to him.
Yeah, I think I did talk to him not too long ago. He's back working and stuff, and I think he obviously probably not 100%, but he's doing better than he was. But yeah, that's just I don't really wish that on anyone. Like
Yeah,
getting the
definitely.
Achilles thrown out. First sparring for him as well. Like we had already sparred. We'd already been there 2 weeks training, and then those guys all jumped in. Um, yeah, not a good experience.
Yeah, definitely. When was this actually all filmed? Like, how long ago did you
Um,
actually film Relentless?
so it must have been. It was end of last year. So I came over to Aussie in November, and right before then, I did the show. So I did the show August, September, like October, November. It must have been August. I still went for the
Holy
show.
shit!
Yeah, so 3 months from August, and
Holy
then
shit!
um, then I pretty much went home for 2 weeks, and then I remember just talking to Joe, and I was like, "Oh, like I'm gonna come over soon. Like, should I come over?" And he's like, "Oh, there's actually because Alex gets like fighter houses, or has sometimes when he's in camp. And he's like, there's actually somewhere for you to stay now if you want to come over." So I just kind of went all in, and just came over here. And, just been here since really.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I was wondering like, why would you would go for a CKB scholarship when you were training at Freestyle? Because they're pretty much like I would say they're even
Yeah,
gyms,
yeah,
level gym.
they're both very good gyms. They're both. I know Eugene and Joe have a very good relationship as well.
Yeah,
Well, I think that show was just going to be a good experience for me, mate. Like,
yeah,
it kind of got me to because I was working full time as an apprentice builder before that, and try and train as much as I could as well. And that show was pretty good at opening my eyes. Like, oh yeah, like you can go full time fighting. You can like chase this. So that was awesome for that. And I got to do 8 weeks at one of the best gyms in the world, training full time with, top MMA fighters, and also got to be in front of a camera, working on those skills as well. It was just an awesome experience, really. And then, pretty much once that show finished, I was like, all right, I'm going to come over here and try and fight full time, start being a pro.
Yeah, no, that is like crazy. Like to work with both, Eugene Behrman and Joe Lopez in such a short amount of time, not even going pro as well, is pretty crazy.
Yeah, because I didn't really had anything to do. Oh, I'd briefly come over to freestyle last year, so I kind of knew I wanted to come back here. But before that, I hadn't really had any experience with CKB or only that I fought. I think I fought one of the guys like my second amateur fight or something. But yeah, never really trained there or anything. It was very eye opening.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's a stereotype, especially from like non-New Zealanders, that any fighter that comes out of New Zealand is automatically a CKB fighter.
Yeah, I get that heaps. Like and like where I'm from Dunedin, so I'm on the other side of New Zealand. But everyone like from over here, they're like, oh, when they find out from New Zealand, I'm like, oh, are you from CKB? I'm like, nah, I'm from like a different gym. I'm on the other island.
Yeah. And so just before we wrap up, I wanted to get like your expectations for your pro career, some goals you want to set. Like when do you see yourself making a major promotion? Like just your goals in general. Like where do you see yourself? Let's just say 3 years time.
Sorry, say again.
So like let's just say like where do you see your pro career and like your just MMA career taking you in like 3 years time? We'll say that.
I made a goal to be in the UFC when I'm 26. So that's hopefully, as long as I can get fights and I can be active, I feel like that is achievable. And as long as I keep my head down and keep working, keep improving, I feel like I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
And hopefully, yes, I see myself getting some local titles or regional titles, and then I want to be in the UFC. I just want to be fighting full time. Really, it's what I enjoy. Getting up and going training every day, living the pro life. But hopefully, 26. 26. I think that's like a pretty steep goal, but I think it can be done.
And what record do you want to have? Like how many? Is there a certain amount of fights you want to have before you?
No, I don't actually care about my record either. To be honest, like
Yeah.
if there's losses on my record, I don't feel like that's going to affect it too much. So I think heaps of these guys that try and get in the UFC are like worry about their records, but I don't feel like that's what the UFC is actually like. Obviously, if you're like for a terrible record, the UFC is probably going to look at like, oh, like what's happening there. But if you're going and performing exciting fights, I think the UFC is going to look at that more than an undefeated padded record.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's a lot of guys you see, they've had their record, they go to the UFC, and then they cut within 2 fights. It's like, what's the point in that?
Like, even, like, I feel like if you have a few losses, but you've lost to, like, I just want to fight the best competition, really. I want to fight those top guys locally, and I want to fight those top guys internationally. And if a few losses early or a few losses in my career, I don't think that's going to be too bad. If I'm constantly improving and
No, exactly. I love that mindset.
And I think some people, like, even when they get close to the UFC, they get a bit worried about a loss or what they think that's going to put them all the way back down. But I don't think that is. Like, I think a loss is just going to, it's going to set you back. But like, you do another time performance or another 2 time performances, you're back probably better than what you were before.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree 100%. That's the mindset you got to have. Like that is like a championship mindset. I feel like you can't just you can't have one loss and say, no, that's it, not for me. Like you sacrifice this much.
I don't feel like the MMA journey. It's like I feel like if you're thinking about that, you're thinking about it very close-minded. It's not really like I think you should be trying to think about the big picture.
Yeah.
Like, and I think if you fight the better guys you fight, the better you're going to get. The better guys you train with, the better you're going to get. And if like the better guys you're fighting, even though some of them might be losses, that's still going to be a pretty awesome experience, and it's going to be good for you in the long run.
Well, exactly, and especially look at like a guy like Jack Della. Like first 2 fights as a pro, he lost. He was 0-2 in his career. Now look at him, 18-fight winning streak.
Yeah, perfect. And he's like probably he's going to get the title, I reckon.
Yeah, it's like,
and also like his mindset is pretty awesome. Like, yeah, no one's calling out Shavkat. Like, how awesome is that?
yeah, exactly.
Like, the scariest guy in his division. He's like, yep, I want that guy.
I know he's probably a bit bigger than you, like, but did you train with him when he came over to freestyle?
I was actually gutted that week because I actually had staff when he was here. So I was around the gym and I like got to watch. I suppose it was kind of good. I got to watch a lot more because like that week we had like Israel, Jack Dalla, Jimmy Crute.
I think Brad Waddell.
Yeah, Brad Waddell was. I got to train with Brad Waddell for a wee bit. That was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, for like a few weeks, the gym was absolutely stacked. But yeah, there was 1 week where like felt like everyone was there, and I had staff, and I was like, "Fuck, I can't try." Maybe it was better for me to. I got to watch and actually be a fan to.
Yeah.
Watch these guys. Maybe it was better for that.
Did you get to talk to those guys though?
Yeah, man. All those guys, incredibly like down to earth and actually like. They just talk to you like a normal person. It's really weird, like when you see like Jack or something, he's fighting on the biggest stage, and you just have like a normal conversation with him, and he's like the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, no, I know that. I met him at a meet and greet at a pub, and he was literally he like talks to you just like you're a normal guy, like, and he's not one of the baddest men on the planet.
Yeah, he's so chilled as well. He's just so relaxed, so I don't know, just so easygoing. But then he just like goes into the cage and murders people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely smokes them as well, like fucking brutal.
Yeah, and even like Israel, like he's one of the nicest guys in the world as well. I think like his persona, like some people don't really like him, but he's also very like when you talk to him, he's so humble.
Yeah, no, that's good then. Yeah, I can see why there's like some people who wouldn't be a fan of him. Obviously, you know, he's a controversial figure at times, but I'm sure he's a nice guy and character.
Yeah, I think some people don't really like that he kind of. I don't know, I feel like he's just being him anyway. Like he just kind of says it how he sees it, and some people maybe don't like that. And then also, I think he's probably trying to do some entertaining things as well, which is pretty controversial. Some people either see it for entertainment, or some people think he's just being a dick.
Yeah. Even if he's being a dick, as long as it makes the fight feel bigger, I don't mind it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I can appreciate some of those guys that like are just doing things to make it the entertainment side, and not everyone likes that. Which I'm like, yeah, but like you're talking about it. That's what they want. Like,
yeah, exactly.
They don't care if it's positive or negative. If you're talking about it, they've done their job.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't agree with him when he said that he only got booed by Strickland because the fans were racist. Now I don't agree with that, but other things.
I wasn't here for it, but I did hear that Australian fans didn't really like him, which I was kind of like disappointed. I was like, you should be supporting him. Like New Zealand, Oz are kind of, I don't know, pretty close. I thought.
Well, I think Blood Diamond actually got a pretty big cheer. I think it was just like Strickland just being such a good speaker. I think Strickland is just like, you know, he's a guy who can really rally a crowd against him. He had the Canadians cheering for him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, he is good. He's good at entertainment as well.
Yeah, I think Australians will root for like any New Zealander pretty much, unless the guy that they're fighting is like more got more charisma or anything like that. Like Carlos Olberg, he got a pretty big cheer as well.
Yeah, were you there for it? Yeah.
I wasn't there for that one, but I was at 284, and all the Kiwi guys, they were getting pretty big cheers. Like Shane Young got a massive cheer. Like he got cheered massively, and that was like the first fight of the night.
I feel like the Kiwis when they fight on like the Aussie UFCs, I feel like they're fighting at home anyway. Like
yeah,
they're like the Anzacs are pretty much with the Anzacs.
Yeah, like when Dan Hooker, because Dan Hooker didn't fight on it, but when they showed Dan Hooker on the big screen, like he got bigger cheers than like Logan Paul and KSI. They actually got booed. Logan Paul and KSI got booed, but still.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully, I think they're coming back. Well, they were meant to be coming back to New Zealand sometime, like the UFC, but I don't know what actually.
They haven't scheduled anything, eh? Because they've got Perth obviously, but they must be popping back there soon. There's quite a few Kiwis that they could put on there to stack that card as well.
Yeah, and even some Aussies they can put on there too. Like because every Australia card they'll put Kiwis on it, so they could do the same thing for the Auckland card as well.
Just maybe they want it to be like a title fight so they could have a UFC for it instead of as a fight night. Like if they're going to go all the way to New Zealand, because it'll be a fight night unless there was a title on it, wouldn't there?
Yeah, but I could see them doing like Kai Kara France versus like Manel Cape or something like that. That would be a cool fight night.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they could do a fight night there actually.
Yeah, Olberg could main event. If he beats Manyfield, he's getting like a top 5 opponent, so that could be a main event. Like there's so many Kiwis like rising up, so I'm sure they could figure something.
Yeah, it's not. I feel like it'd be pretty easy to fill a card with Kiwis in New Zealand.
Yeah, like look, I could make one up right now. You can do Dan Hooker versus Rafael Fiziev main event, Carlos Olberg versus Khalil Roundtree co-main event, feature fight Kai Kara France versus Manel Cape. There you go. You've got your free big fight.
That's like 3 stacked fights right there as well. Like,
yeah, I feel like it's not that hard really when you think about it.
Yeah, maybe they're planning something, or maybe, I don't know. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, hopefully. And so just before we go, I just wanted to get how you got yourself winning this fight against your opponent.
I'm gonna say second round TKO or sub. I reckon. Yeah, I reckon it'll be competitive at the start, and then I think he'll fade and he'll fall off, and then I'll still be in his face, and I'll still be pushing the pace, and I feel like he's gonna mentally quit, and then he's either gonna give me a sub or he's gonna give me a TKO.
And with him like coming out so aggressive, are you gonna like try and invest, to the body to try and weaken him early? Or
no, I kind of reckon it's going to play right into my game actually. Like if he's going to be right there to be hit aggressively, then I think that's going to be perfect for me. If he wants to be aggressive in my face, then he's going to probably walk into some shots, I think.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I can't wait to see it. And just before you go, is there any sponsors or anyone you want to shout out just before we go?
There is. Everyone that sponsored me for this fight, and just everyone that's supporting me. Sponsors, Wingdang Bowls. They've been a major sponsor for me. I got a lawyer back in New Zealand sponsoring me, Shona Cumming. Freestyle MMA has been awesome at supporting me, much as the hub where I do all my S&C. Both those two places, the freestyle gyms helped me out so much going to this, which has just been awesome. And just everyone else that's supporting.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Kasib. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time, but it was awesome to talk to you.
No, thank you for having me. Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you made it the whole way here, it'd be rude not to leave a like. Make sure you subscribe if you ain't already, and I'll see you guys next time.